Um, I think the Hilsa conservation initiative of the government of Bangladesh uh, can be appreciated um, from the perspective of kind of ecosystem-based approach, like allow the mother Hilsa to spawn properly and also allow the juveniles to grow bigger. The juvenile meaning that we usually popularly call chatka. And this is also another dimension of this is, it is a kind of science policy integration, like the Fisheries Research Institute, they conducted the research over a long time and identified the possible timing and sites of Hilsa breeding and the habitats of Chatka and availability of Chatka, I mean the juvenile Hilsa. So they suggested some measures to, in fact, refrain from fishing during breeding time and also refrain from fishing the Chatka. And the government accepted that and it is being implemented. The question here is, the huge number of poor fishermen are engaged in Hilsa fisheries. And if they are not allowed to catch Hilsa, whether it is breeding time or it is Chatka or it is whatever the time is, then this ban actually negatively affect their livelihoods, particularly for those period, the period when we have the moratorium. So government has taken up a program to compensate these loss by giving 40 kilograms of rice per month per household. Um, this is good in the sense that the government is investing money in conservation, but from the fisherman's perspective, this 40 kilogram rice is not enough to support their livelihoods because they only don't eat rice. They need vegetables, oil, salts, and many other things. They also need money for meeting other livelihoods demands, health, treatments, education, clothings. Uh, so that's one point. This compensation is not comprehensive to meet the demand of the livelihoods of the fishers. It is not the food only. The other point often fishermen raise that the amount they are entitled, which is 40 kilograms per households per month, in all cases they claim that they get less than 40 kilograms, sometimes 30 kilograms, 35, 37, but never 40. And in some places it is far less than this, particularly in areas where many non-fishers also got kind of listed as Jatka fishers. They also get this compensation package. So in that sort of places, usually the one entitlement is divided into two households. That's why they get less. Fishermen also claim that they don't get the rice in time, so often they get late. I was talking to a group of fishers in Mokhlesur and they said that sometimes we get very poor quality rice and it is really don't liked by them to kind of as a food item. But it is not the case, always the case, but sometimes they get bad quality rice. So the question is, what is happening during the ban period? Is that fishermen not going to the river for fishing? Actually, many fishers, or at least a few fishermen, they go to river and do fishing. They catch jatka, and we have seen in the newspaper that they are also catching the brood hilsa during this ban period of 28 days. This is actually allow the mother fish to spawn eggs, and this is very important. And over the last few years, um, fishermen, you all know that the Hilsa production is increased substantially, meaning that we could say that this Hilsa conservation measures contributing to higher production of Hilsa. But knowing all these things, why the fishermen going to catch fish illegally? As I said, that the compensation package is not adequate to meet up their demands. Many of the fishers have no lands; they're very poor and landless, and they didn't have other skill to earn some money. So they only have the skill is the fishing. So that's why they prefer to go for fishing. Sometimes what happens that they are encouraged and guided and influenced by the Mahajans to go and catch fish even during the ban period. Because Mahajan is sitting with money and they like to invest the money for fishing, and if they get catch, then they could trade the Hilsa and make profits. So there are kind of pressure from the Mahajans, pressure from the family, livelihoods, crisis. So many of them bound to go for fishing, violating the rules. Since it is proven that the Hilsa fishery, this moratorium, this conservation efforts, improving the Hilsa, we are earning huge amount of money. So I think it is important to revisit the compensation package. It is not only rice, but to meet up their livelihood demands. So can we improve the package? This could be rice and cash or other things in kind, or a kind of very comprehensive alternative livelihoods program targeting both men and women, because the women could also do lots of income generating activities if properly supported. It is not merely giving kind of one sewing machine or giving some seeds, but something bigger, so that these alternative options could be more lucrative than fishing. Fishing is there are lots of risks are associated with it. There are pirates, there are coast guards, there are changing cyclones, high tides, lots of things. So we need to actually critically review the conservation programs vis-a-vis the livelihoods and the compensation package we are giving. We should sit with the fishing communities and get their views that what sort of alternative that could better help them refrain from fishing. There are many karstlands, huge amount of karstlands. There are also borrow pit canals along the water development boards, dikes. But all these borrow pit canals and water bodies are leased to kind of rich people, or people have multiple options. But this can be given to the fishermen so that they can do aquaculture there and can make they earn money and make up their livelihoods. So other government resources like lands and waters available, that can be given to the fishers, particularly those who are landless. Even many of the fishers don't have homesteads of their own. They live in friend's house or neighbor's house. So these people should be identified and provided with a special kind of support packages. There are some other problems as well, where often the fishermen they share with us that sometimes they catch fish with different types of gears, but these are taken away by the law enforcing agencies. These are burned down and sometimes shoot case against them. So we also need to see the timing of ban and also the type of gear they use. If the gear is not targeting Hilsa or Jatka, then this can be allowed to some extent. So there are various issues that need to be critically studied, reviewed to further improve the conservation package. One thing I always notice that this is basically Hilsa conservation program, but fishermen say it is in Bangla they call it Obhizan. Obhizan meaning that the law enforcing agency chase the fishers, whether they are fishing or not. It is not, they don't say that we are conserving Hilsa, but they didn't say that this is the conservation period. They call it Obhizan period, meaning that law enforcing agency will chase them if they go for fishing. So in their psychology, it is not yet fully embedded that this is conservation program where they are also part of it. All these decisions are made so far by the government and the Hilsa conservation committees. These are essentially government and local government bodies. So it is important that a kind of co-management system to be in place where the Hilsa fishers are also member of that committee. So in that sort of spaces, they could raise their voices. So that opportunity is not there, but currently World Fish is trying to form a co-management system, and it is already formed in some of the upajalas in the Meghna estuary, where the fishermen, local government, government officials, UNO, they will sit together and discuss about the Hilsa conservation issues. I believe that this would help improve the conservation drive to save, protect and maintain or sustain the Hilsa fishery in Bangladesh.
Thank you.